Paul, Raya. Hey, congratulations for your new
Thank
film, Our
you.
Happy Place.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
yeah.
You know,
Thanks
this
for having us.
this is a terrific movie. I love this type of movie because this is something that I would watch like Friday, Saturday night. But when I say Friday, Saturday night, I'm talking about like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
Watch
yeah.
this, watch this in the dark because this is kind of like creepy and kind of crawl under your skin. But more
Good. Good.
congratulations! It has been
Thank you.
featured at Dances with Films in New York this year. How do you
Yeah.
both feel about that?
I mean, I'll let you answer that.
Super
Yeah.
excited. We're so excited to finally get to see it on the big screen, and it'll be the world premiere for us.
Mm.
So it's going to be amazing to like get to be with an audience and really see how people react.
Yeah. As you know, we this is all brand new. We it hasn't premiered and well, it hasn't shown anywhere. So this is going to be really exciting to see. And we haven't been to New York together. So this is also a fun thing for us.
Well put, well put. Well, let me start with that obligatory question. We always have to ask these, filmmakers where the original idea came from for Our Happy Place. What dark, demented mind it came from?
Oh man. Yeah. Well, yeah, we were it was during COVID and we were trapped. The whole world was trapped at that time. And we were walking in the woods. Unfortunately, we had a cabin in the woods. And you've seen the woods. It's pretty incredible looking up here in Big Bear. And I was walking along, we were talking about wanting to do a story up here.
Well, we realized, oh, that 2 week theory
Oh yeah,
was not actually happening. And now we were stuck there for months. We're like,
months.
we got to do something
Yeah,
creative while we're
yeah.
here.
And
Going,
yeah, and then we were walking along and I thought, what would happen if you woke up in the woods every day and didn't know how you got there and you had to find your way home? And then we kept working with the story and we started developing it. We started shooting it first, which is a mistake. So we should have had the completed script, but we knew where we wanted to go, and we like I said, we developed it along the way, and
but yeah, that seed idea was the creepy woods, being up here and going, we're completely isolated, we're trapped, and let's use that
yeah,
setting.
yeah, yeah. But as far as the being creeped out by it, I'm so glad that you were. That was our intention. Demented mind, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it spawned out of the pandemic, but and you basically have to, finish this story. So in reality, did you actually started the production after the pandemic ended, or
During.
still was in the midst of the pandemic?
So we literally did the majority of the movie. We filmed it just the two of us during quarantine up in Big Bear. So even like you saw the scenes with Tracy Toms and Eugene Bird down in LA, that was all using FaceTime and Skype and stuff. But all of those forest scenes, anything with just us, was filmed during quarantine with no crew. Like he did the camera work, the sound, the lighting, the props,
Yeah.
everything.
There was quite a bit of rigging with this film, making things move on its own, and the rack focus we had to do sometimes when we're both in the scene. You won't see my hand over here because it'll be racking focus while we're while we're both in the scene. And there was a few times where I had to actually rig the camera so I could rack focus with my foot. I was holding something, and she comes in walking behind me, and then I had to I rigged a string down to the floor, and then I was stepping on. So I was standing on one foot while being in the scene, racking focus with her in the background. So it would have been nice to have a crew.
It would have been amazing to have a
Yeah,
crew, and we had some help once COVID restrictions lifted. Then we got to start working in person with some other friends and stuff.
yeah.
But honestly,
But we
we
still didn't
we
have a
still
crew.
just were
No.
doing it ourselves because at this
Yeah,
point we were like a well-oiled machine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
No,
first few
no,
days were a little rough.
it's funny to me because hearing your story, it's a little bit unbelievable because who gets trapped during a pandemic in the cabin in the woods with camera equipment? Because
Right.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you know I like because I every summer I would head up to near Yosemite for a cabin for a week, but I would not bring my camera equipment, saying,
Well,
"Oh, maybe I should film something up
we
here."
kind of lucked out timing wise because Paul had already been working on a project with Tracy Toms down in LA before COVID hit. And so he had been gathering equipment and stuff for that. And that was also being made like guerrilla movie making style. So it was just that perfect
Yeah.
moment in
Yeah.
time where he had the equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when the first 2 weeks, remember how, no, we already mentioned that it was going to be 2 weeks. I was working a lot I do props and other things in art direction. And I was working a lot. So I wanted to not do anything for a while, but then, the bug hit and we had to do
Well, and then
something.
it was going to be stir crazy if he
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah. So I had to
creative.
go back to LA to get all my equipment, then bring it back up. But yeah.
Well, it is very convenient. So tell us about rigging this cabin up, for your production. I can't imagine just the two of you trying to handle all of this, especially I find it, you know, guerrilla style filmmaking to be even difficult to handle the camera, to handle the script,
I
to
know.
handle and both of you being on screen. I
Yeah.
guess Paul, you had the easy part on
I
screen.
did, yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
written for that.
yeah, we did.
There
Yeah,
was a reason.
there was a reason why that I was laid up in the bed. It's mainly because I was, obviously for the obvious reasons, I was always, setting up and rigging and making sure we had everything. And there was the first couple of days were pretty rough because we got out to location. It took about 20 minutes out to drive out to the woods. We get out there and I forgot the SD cards. And so then I had to come back. Then the next day was the batteries. And so
I would
we,
like to point out that we would fully set up the scene. I'd be in icy cold
yeah,
edge of water,
yeah,
ready for a wake up scene. And then we'd realize that one of these things
yeah,
was missing or
yeah,
something. Like it took us a while to get into the groove of our checklist.
yeah. Because, there's a reason why that, feature films have 80 people because
Yeah,
they're saying, oh, I got the batteries, so
we really miss that.
yeah.
And Paul would really like to make his next film with a full
Yes, with a
crew.
nice, with a big crew. That'd be amazing. Yeah. 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 Let's hope there is a next one.
Raya, tell us about the challenges of I don't want to say it's acting solo because you technically have Paul there in the room, but you're in 80% or 85 or maybe more of
Yeah,
the scenes in this film. So the pressure, you have to carry this movie.
Yeah,
she
I
does.
think I think it helped that we were in a sort of like she's going through this isolation and we were going through a level of isolation. Um, so that really helped with it. And then just really connecting to the kind of madness that happens when you get stuck in your head. And so that's just kind of where I existed for it. But I didn't let myself think of that kind of pressure like what you're talking about.
Mm.
I honestly sometimes forget I'm in it because in many ways for me it was like, okay, great, Paul wants to make this thing, I'm going to do it and we're going to be there. And I didn't let myself get too self-conscious that I'm going to carry the film. I didn't even have that in my head. I would just be like, okay, what's the scene we're working on, get into that headspace. But I never thought of like the bigger picture. And when we found out we got into Dances with Films, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. And he's like, babe, you're in it. And I was like, oh, that's right. Oh my God. So
Yeah, she's brilliant in it though. I mean, I couldn't have been trapped with someone better than this. I mean, it was fantastic to have her, and she does carry the film. It's quite amazing.
thank you.
I'm actually surprised, Raya, that you're so excited for this because when I talk to actors that play these type of characters, they get into that mental space and they have to like dig deep to get out of that mental space at the end of the day. And I can't imagine what you actually had to go through getting into this mental space and being isolated up in the middle of the mountain. Like you're literally living it, and I'm talking to you, and I feel like you're too overly excited. Maybe you're acting right now.
I don't
No.
know. I mean, if I'm keeping it real, my mother died. It was a really long process of
Oh.
Alzheimer's, and she got it early onset. And so I don't, there was a part of me that was really connecting to what it's like to lose your mind. And I've had so much to connect to on that level, but I also had a lifetime of what does it mean to be in that really dark space with somebody as they're struggling with that. And then also go live your life and work and be happy and exist. So just gonna put that one little moment there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, there it felt very real. It was, people were suffering at that time and were trapped in what she just went through. And yeah, it was it was amazing to watch her transformation.
So Paul, tell us about directing, a guerrilla style horror project like this, where technically you have that one actor that you have to work with the whole time, and then you have to input yourself once in a while on your back,
Yeah.
filming at the same time.
Well, because there was so much that you had to think of, I barely even thought about myself being on camera. It was to service the film. It wasn't, I'm not trying to be an actor. It just there just wasn't any other people around. But as far as it was absolutely enjoyable and nerve wracking at the same time because there was so much that you had to think about and do. And we tried to shoot most of the stuff outside at that magic hour in Big Bear when the sun goes over the mountain, but it doesn't go over the horizon, and you get a little bit longer period of time where you have the even light over everything. And so we had to work our days around that. And so you prep all day, and make sure you have everything. You load your truck up and you go out, and you have about 40 minutes to run around. You don't really have much time to think, oh, I'm in this. I have to be in here. She was absolutely helping the entire time, trying to, make sure, do you have this? Do you have that? And there's a couple of times where we left the scene, loaded everything up. Oh, I forgot the tripod. It's back out in the woods, and we had to drive back out. We had to drive back out and get it because I picked up the tripod and had a handheld for a while, and so we moved away from the first setup to the next setup, then to the next setup, and leaving things along the way in the woods. So
Yeah, I feel like we had to be really in the moment. Like he had to be really in the moment because the magnitude of the things to do list, like we're saying in your head, the shot he's trying to get, the position of camera, whatever rig he had to set up, teaching me whatever I had to do. Suddenly I'm helping with rack focus or whatever it might be. And so there wasn't a lot of time to do that overthinking or worrying because of just being present in that moment, getting it done, and then taking those moments for taking a deep breath and getting focused or realizing, oh, well, that didn't go well. Let's just reshoot that whole thing. But yeah. And then Paul is a very visual person. He's an artist by background. And so there were times where he'd like tell me something to do, and I'm like, why? It's like, oh, I can't explain this right now. Like in his head with the visual.
Yeah, I'm worried about the sun is going down, and I'm making sure that the sound is correct and the focus is correct, and I have the histogram correct on the camera and everything. And she's asking me, why do I need to move 1 inch to the left?
Just move over. I'm like, but I was over there.
So for me to switch from everything there to verbalizing because it looks better is what I should have just said.
Right. It looks better.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us why you're not afraid to get down and dirty, literally down and dirty in this project. Because I was gonna say, you know, where a lot of the scenes didn't look too comfortable, being on the ground, especially the one in the snow. I
Yeah.
I don't know how you got convinced to do that.
Yeah, she wants everyone to know how much she suffered. So
Yes.
yes,
It was very
it
cold.
was very big.
Like the snow is real snow.
Yes, yeah,
And often the wake up scenes we would often shoot in the morning, but not morning like 9, morning like 5 a.m. to get the right light again, where it's not going to dapple through the forest. And so no, it was very cold and really miserable at times, but I don't know. Why am I ready? Because I'm passionate about art. And I also really wanted Paul to create something incredible. The last thing I wanted to do is to be, oh, I don't want to get in there. Oh, it's too cold. I would feel that way.
she
There
was a
were times
trooper,
where I
a
would
massive
actually be
trooper.
making little video messages to a friend going, oh my gosh, I'm about to get into the snow, just
Yeah,
to get it out where I
yeah,
wouldn't be telling him.
yeah.
But
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
We've also we tried to make it as comfortable as possible. We'd fill up these hot water bottles,
Yeah, I would have hot water bottles ready to like press against my feet. I was very relieved that the script was written. Oh, wait, I don't want to give anything away. Things got more comfortable. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
It helped that
Yeah.
things got more comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the film time passes, in this project. On production wise, how long did this production actually last? I want to say you guys didn't get stuck like out there for an entire year just waiting for seasons to pass by at Big Bear.
Yeah. Well, we started late in the season. Was it October or November? I can't
I
remember. I don't
honestly don't
remember.
remember.
It's been so many days. We started late, so the snow came fairly quickly, and then we were able to shoot again in the summertime. So we had to definitely jump around our timeline in our filming. But we shot quite a few days because we only had, like I said, only 40 minutes in the evenings to shoot. So it was day after day
And
after
with
day
just the
after
two
day.
of us, we couldn't do like a typical movie schedule of 6 scenes a day or something. Like we
Mhm.
would sometimes just nail one scene and move on, and
Yeah.
then
So
okay, what are we shooting the next
it
day?
was quite a few days, and then of course you're up here and you realize that we do have the time. We had the luxury of time, and some days it was just, oh, I don't want to get off the couch. that's
It's cold, but
that's
we did it.
we did it. We got off the couch.
Just
Yeah.
got up.
Oh, there was one day that was raining, and I thought, oh, it'll stop. It won't be enough. There won't be enough time to set up the camera. It kept raining and kept raining, and I thought, oh, but I'm really enjoying watching MASH right now. And then
Binge watching that.
binge watching MASH.
But
So,
yeah, it
but
took
we got
the
off the couch.
short answer is it took a long time.
We
Like we
got off
took
the
a
couch.
long
Yeah.
time to film.
Yeah.
It was not
Did,
just
so I'm not going. I don't want to spoil anything either. But for scenes where physical people actually have to be in those scenes, was that done much later after the pandemic actually ended?
as COVID restrictions lifted, that's when those
Yeah.
phases started.
Yeah. Vaccines were involved. So
Yeah, once people could get vaccinated and stuff, that's when we started including
yeah.
in person with other
Yeah.
actors.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well
then we
said.
lived in LA. Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to praise the music in this thing because it really helped get under your skin. I mean, it would generally I actually you don't hear this type of scores like on unless you're watching like big budget horror films
Right.
or like some kind of
Oh,
house
thank you so
That's
much.
production.
That
awesome.
was David Hernandez. He was young. He's from USC. I think I don't think he's studying film score. I don't think they have a program there, but
If
he
he's a
had, yeah,
musician
he's
and
a
that's what he
musician.
aspires to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, and we all worked together to create this, and he was great. But I think he's only 21. He's only 21 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be there. He's going to be in New York on
Yes.
December 7th at 7 p.m. Dances with Films.
Well, then tell David that I mentioned his music and because the music plays a huge part,
It
especially in
does.
a horror film like this. So he did an excellent job there.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, he was amazing. It was great. It was great working with him.
Now, with any horror project, I always love to ask filmmakers, there's always that debate for years and decades about practical versus CGI. And I want to say you use both in
No.
this film, right?
Only,
100% practical.
yeah, no, no,
100% practical, including
100%.
the axe.
every, everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You just, I working in props and making props, and also I worked for Fox Sports for years, and we did a lot of rigging of flying people through the air and stuff for their commercials and things. So I'm used to, and I've done a lot of practical effects before, and I love it. I love making things like that. How is that happening? How's that axe doing what it's doing? That's all practical, every bit of it.
Wow, that actually fooled me. I was going, okay, there's no way they could pull a flying axe off and then in this film that's circling above
Oh,
people.
that makes me so happy.
You should look at our Happy Place movie on Insta because he's been posting some behind the scenes stuff. So you could actually like peek in and see
Yeah.
some of how these things that were created.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, and especially with the, guerrilla style filmmaking. I mean, blood splurting. You guys must have, last minute tried to figure out how to create that without, like an actual special effects
Yeah.
crew
Yeah.
to
Yeah. All the blood work. I make my own blood.
We had bottles and bottles,
Yes. Yeah.
syrup and
Yeah.
dyes
Dye.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I still find them sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Our house was kind
I'll
of
open a box and be like, oh gosh,
it's covered in blood.
more blood.
The camera was
Bottle.
covered in blood. The tripod was, and the sound equipment,
Carpets.
everything was covered. It was a mess. We ruined our house. We destroyed our house.
Well, you had plenty of time to do it in this case. Now, for the both of you, how did you both meet to come together as to work on projects as filmmakers yourselves?
Well, we've been together for 20 some years.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when he would make short films, either with a friend in terms of the actors and stuff, sometimes I would just play a small part. Sometimes I would help by casting or just production stuff, producing short films with him. Whenever he writes a script, getting readings
Feedback.
together with our peers and stuff. So that part is just supporting one another.
Yeah.
Great, great. Well, I've taken a lot of time with the both of you, and I am very excited that the folks at Dances with Films will have a chance to watch our Happy Place. Hopefully you'll have a great reaction as I did. But for audiences who aren't at Dances with Films, when do you suppose they will have a chance to watch it? Is it going to be submitted into more film festivals?
Yeah. Yeah. I've submitted into a few more, some key ones.
Hopefully we'll have a big one in LA. Hopefully.
Yeah. Then hopefully that we can get picked up and then everybody can see it. That's,
I mean, that's the goal,
filmmaker's
right?
dream.
To get it distributed
Yeah.
and seen by everyone.
Yeah. I hope so.
Well, you both did a great job on this film. It's unbelievable what you could actually pull off with just your surroundings, just the equipment in hand, and a quick story, and who knows? And I can't wait for your next project with a crew.
There you go. Yeah. Let's make that happen. We're ready. We got a lot of projects we want to do. So yes, we're ready.
Appreciate it. Well, circle back on next time to speak with me on your next project, Paul. Raya. Thank you very much for speaking to us about our Happy Place. This is a well-crafted horror film. Horror aficionados will love this. Thank you.
Oh God, I hope
Thank you
so.
so much, and thank you for having us.